Hello YouTube. All right, well, here we go with another video where I'm gonna take you guys along with me while I am making a product for Valentine's Day. So last video, if you were with me on that one, I made the little heart-shaped wax melts using silicone molds I got off of Amazon. And this time we're going to be making these heart-shaped wood bowl candles. And so I love these. I've had huge success with hand-carved wood bowl candles. We'll talk about that in a second. But if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Jessica and I'm the owner and operator of Round Town Candle Co. I'm a small hand-poured soy wax candle business and I'm based out of a little town in Ohio. And this is going to be actually technically my fourth wood bowl. So I started with pumpkins, and then I did this past holiday season, I did Christmas trees and reindeer. And I had bought 20 bowls. I had 10 trees and 10 reindeer. And I figured that would be plenty, and I sold out in 12 days. So these things have been a huge hit. Now my fear is I bought 20 hearts and I'm already wondering if that's going to be enough or not. So if I sell out of these very quickly, then I know that from here on out, anytime I do a wood bowl, I'm going to need to really up my game because, yeah. But at the same time, I didn't want to have a bunch laying around because they're not exactly cheap, and you don't want to just like completely overbuy and then be stuck with like inventory just sitting around. So anyways, it's a guessing game sometimes. So I will link in the description below the vendor that I get these from Etsy. I again have purchased pumpkins, the Christmas trees, and the reindeer, and now these heart-shaped bowls. So the pumpkins, the reindeer, the trees, those were all bigger. These are a little bit smaller in that they hold about what did I figure out? About 9 ounces ish. And they're hand carved, so they're all different. So it makes it a little bit different when it comes to actually filling them, because it's not like your jar where you know exactly how much wax it's gonna hold. So it's sort of a guessing game, but I'm gonna take you guys along with me and show you how I do this. So first of all, I have some I've already poured, I have some that I've already prepped, and then I saved this last package for you guys. So this is how they come shipped. And there is so much good packing in the box. I mean, these things, like this company is very thorough when it comes to their packaging. So there are 5 bowls in each one of these bags, and then all the bags are put in, and then there's all kinds of wrap around them as well. So definitely secure packaging, and so that makes it nice. So I'm going to try to get this started here, and I'll just cut through. So these bowls are really awesome. I mean, whenever you're shopping for a wood bowl, if you decide you want to do a wood bowl candle, you have to make sure, first of all, that they're candle ready, because not all wood bowls can be made into candles. So they're just all inside of one another like that. Oh my gosh, these are so cute and they smell good. Okay, so like I said, not all wood bowls can be made into candles. These specifically say that they are candle ready. So this company that I purchased from, actually, when you are searching their Etsy store, you can filter, and on the filtering you can say for candle making, and then it will show you all the bowls that are approved for candle making. So if you're purchasing from another company or you're unsure, I would absolutely recommend that you reach out to whoever it is and ask them, can these be used for candles? Is there anything I need to do to get ready for candle making or whatever? Because you just don't want to assume that a bowl is going to be good and then it's not. So all I do with these when I get them is I just take a dry paper towel and I just kind of wipe the bottom of the bowl just to make sure that there's really nothing going on. Occasionally there will be like a little piece, like right here, it's just like a little piece of wood that was sticking up. So I just pulled that off. So that's really all I do from that point. Like I said, these are candle ready. So if you've never poured wood bowls before, just like with a candle, you need to do testing. You need to test your wicks, your wax, all that good stuff, and make sure that you have a combination that works for you. So for me, I triple wick this, and I use CD wicks, and so I'm triple wicking with CD4s. Now this works for me with this bowl and the wax that I use and the fragrance oil percentage that I use. I've tested this. So, all right, before I put these in, I want to show you guys. These bowls are obviously not all the same. They are hand carved, so no two are going to be exactly alike. So when it comes to wicking them, there is no wick tool for this. There is no, direct science for it. I triple wick these bowls, and so you can see, how that one looks. So really, because I've made these before, I am pretty familiar with how I like to wick them. When I did my pumpkins, I did a triple wick. When I did my Christmas trees and my reindeer, I did triple wick. And so I know, based on my experience, my testing, I know that with these wicks and my wax and fragrance combination that I use, I know roughly in my mind, like when I'm looking at it, I can almost visualize what the melt pool is going to be like. And so I just put these down how I see in my mind, if that makes sense. Then when I'm done, I just kind of pull them up like this just to sort of look and make sure. And you don't want them too close to the edge, because obviously you do not want your wick burning right next to the side of the wood bowl. So you need to kind of have them, and I'll show you, like, woo, that was close. So there's where I did on that one. You can see that. And so once they are, straightened out, you'll be able to tell that nothing is right on, the wicks aren't right on top of each other. They're not right at the edge of the bowl. Now, again, with something that's oddball like this, there is no wick centering. There is no custom wick holder. You have to get a little creative when it comes to how you get your wicks under control. And I'm super curious to know if there are any of you out there who have a way to do it different than how I do it. So I will show you what I've come up with, and if you've got a different idea, I would like to know that, just because I'm curious to see what other people do. So let me get these last few bowls wicked and ready to go, and then we'll start pouring. I really love the wood bowls. People really love them. They've been very, very popular. And what's funny is when I started out with the pumpkins were online and I didn't have my store yet. And they sold decently, but once I had my store, I say once I had it, like I've had it forever. I've only had it since September, but once I opened the store, the remaining wood bowls, the pumpkin wood bowls that I had kind of lingering around forever, sold immediately. And then, like I said, once I got those holiday ones, same thing. I mean, they sold immediately. I think there's just something about seeing them in person, how cute they are. So even if you don't have a store, but like if you do markets and things like that, I would definitely recommend maybe adding these. You don't have to go crazy and do a ton of them, but if you just have a few, because they really are nice and people really seem drawn to them, at least around my area. I don't know if it's just like I don't know. I figure people probably like them everywhere, but I would certainly recommend it, especially if you are trying to come up with something other than just your candles. Give people, you know, just your regular candles, just to give people kind of a different option. That would definitely be something to consider. And this company that I use, that I purchase from, and I know they're not the only ones, it's just who I've dealt with, and they're really good. But they have all different kinds of wood bowls. And I've thought about doing the sort of oblong ones that you see a lot that could be like a really nice table centerpiece. I've thought about doing those. I have not obviously done that yet, but that's something I may consider on down the line. But I mean, Easter bunnies and crosses and just all kinds of stuff. You can get all kinds of different wood bowls, and I think that's what's so neat about it. And you know, that was another thing too. I wasn't sure, because once I had done the pumpkins, and like I said, they were kind of slow selling until I got into the store. But once I had done the pumpkins, and then I thought, are people gonna want more wood bowls? Or like, is there a limit? Like you just, oh, I have a pumpkin, I'm good. I wasn't really sure what to expect on that side of it. So that's why I only bought 10, or I'm sorry, bought 20 for the holiday, because I thought, well, 20 sounds like a lot. And I didn't know how well they would sell. So when they sold out in 12 days, I was absolutely floored. And like I said, now I'm already regretting not having these done sooner and getting some more of them, because now I'm worried that these are gonna sell out quickly. Because once the Christmas ones, the holiday ones, once they sold out, then it was like, I still had people asking for them. So with these, I may actually just go ahead and order more of them. My cats are playing. I don't know if you can hear them. One of them is like getting attacked. But I may end up actually ordering more of these, because like, I mean, with Christmas trees, you can only have those up for so long. And reindeer, but with hearts, you can probably have them out all year long. Mikey, why? All right, so I'm gonna flip the camera around now, and I'm gonna show you guys kind of how I do the next step, because it's a little tricky. So give me just a second to get things flipped around, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so we are going to try it like this, and I'm going to show you how I get these wicks kind of secured. So basically I use 4-inch clothespins, and I usually use about 2 per wick. And so I'm going to show you how I do this. So we'll start on the end over here. And on the clothespin, I bring my wick up through this little center hole, and then I open it and I pull the wick over and put it through there and close it to keep the wick held. So I'll show you that. So I bring it up through that center hole, and then I'm just going to rest the edge of the wick, or the clothespin over here. Pull the wick down and close it in so that it keeps it kind of under control there. And then I take my second clothespin and I just put it like that, and it just holds it in place. Now you can see that sometimes I get a little bit of movement, so sometimes I kind of have to tweak them, and that's also because there's like a hump right here. So we're just going to move that over a little bit, bring that in, and hold it there. And that's really about kind of as good as you can do it. So then I'm going to, let's see, we'll flip around and do the middle one now. So same thing, up through the center hole there and bring that down. And then I'm going to take this one and grab a hold of it, and then I'll bring it over next to that one. Now we're going to flip over again and do this with our last. The reason I'm flipping is because if I turn it like this, there's nothing for this to lay on. So it's got to be where it can touch over here. So it gets tricky because they get close together. So this is essentially what it looks like. And then because I use my little funnel to pour, then I can just come in from the side or come in from this side to pour my wax in there. And I'll show you guys that here in just a bit. And then what you can do is you can kind of pick it up and look under it to see and make sure everything looks like it's pretty leveled up. And it looks like it is. So we've got that one. We'll move it out of the way. So let me grab another one here. This is just the way that I have found for me that it works out. You may have a way that works better for yourself. If so, I would like to know what that is. I mean, this way works fine. I'm not like actively looking for a different way. I'm just a little bit curious to see if anybody does have a different way of doing it. Sometimes when you get with these odd shaped bowls and stuff, it makes it a little bit difficult because it's just not like your regular old jar you're using. So that one looks good. This one needs to come back over here a little bit. And then usually after I get done pouring, I'll kind of squat down a little bit and like look through there, look underneath and look across just to make sure nothing got shifted, you know, real strongly one way to the other, where it's gonna make the wick way off centered. And so we just have a couple more left. I love these wood bowls. They're so cool. They're so neat because they're unique. Obviously, no two of them are going to be alike because they're carved by hand. And it's just, they're very pretty. They smell good. They make gorgeous, gorgeous candles. And it's a lot of fun. Nice. See, this is working out. I know it looks goofy, you guys, but you gotta do what you gotta do, because otherwise, how do you keep them under control once you get poured? You gotta try to keep them from laying all over the place. And all right, we're almost done. And then I'm gonna show you how I pour these. These clothespins have been, like, I tried a bunch of different, well, not a bunch, but I tried a handful of different tools for holding the wicks, and these have just worked so great for me. And they're really versatile as far as different jars. And like for my tins that I use, I have to use clothespins because I don't have I have to use two like that, two for each wick, because the tins are a little bit longer than what the clothespin will hold. So sometimes you just have to kind of improvise a little bit. All right, this is the last one, and then we are going to get started on getting these bowls filled, and I will show you that process as well. And you will see how absolutely easy this is to do. And like I said, I would 100% encourage anybody to do these because they're so fun and people just love them. So, all right, we are going to get ready to pour. So let me shut the camera off and get it moved around out of my way yet again, and on to the next step. Okay, so before I pour, I'm still waiting on my wax to get to temperature. So I wanted to show you guys something though real quick. So these, like I said, I've already done some of these bowls. So this one here, you can see how nicely that looks. Good smooth top, everything's pretty, just what we want to see. But this one, oh, this one's a hot mess. So what happened was I poured the wax and the clothespins fell down into it and I didn't realize it. and I had to literally like pry them up out when the wax got hardened. So you can see the clothespins on that. So yeah, that can happen, and it's easy because I'll just take my heat gun and melt that down and it'll smooth right out. And then if I need to clean anything up around the edge, I can do that. So yes, these clothespins sometimes can create issues, but it's nothing that can't easily be fixed with a heat gun. So it's just like when you have to smooth out tops on your candles anyways. So that happened on 2 of them. This was the worst one though, so I figured I would show you guys that one. But anyhow, my wax is almost to temperature, so as soon as it gets to temp, we will start pouring. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, so now my wax is to temperature. We're gonna get ready to pour. And the camera is mostly off me because you guys don't need to worry about seeing me. I just want you to be able to see how I pour these, which really is just like you would pour any other candle. And so I just start pretty slowly through here. And I'm not gonna fill these all the way up yet. I'm just gonna go like so far, but try to keep them sort of even, because with these bowls, like I mentioned, they're hand carved, so they're all different. So it's really hard to know how much wax you're actually going to end up needing. So I may have to do like a refill and do sort of some touch-ups, and that's perfectly fine. So I'm just gonna try to keep them somewhat even here. So they pour very nicely, and I definitely have enough room on the sides with using this funnel so that I don't have to, like, those clothespins are just not even in my way. So no trouble with that at all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour these, and then like I said, I'm just gonna go back through and kind of get down at eye level, make sure that none of the wicks have, you know, gone sideways, or if any of the clothespins need to be adjusted or anything like that, I can do that before the wax hardens. So this is really all there is to it. There's nothing special that you have to do with these other than just, you know, like I said, I just kind of wipe them out just to make sure there's no little pieces of dust or wood or whatever in the bottom of them. And then, you know, just fill them up. So when I did the pumpkin bowls, those were the very first ones that I ever did, and it was very new to me, and I was all about having everything perfect. So I actually went through, you guys are gonna love this. I actually went through and I filled each one with water, and then weighed it, and then did the calculation to convert that to what it would be for wax, then did my calculation to figure out what it would be for my fragrance oil, like that whole thing. So I had like bowl A, this much wax, bowl B, this much wax, bowl C. And looking back on that now, that was absolutely hilarious, because first of all, like, that is so silly, because it's not like I sold them like, oh, I just sold bowl G, you know. So when it came right down to it and I put them in the computer, I just did an average cost. So I don't know, it was just crazy, you guys, but live and learn. So now I just measure out my wax and fragrance oil, of course, you know, because I need to know what's in there. And then whatever I use, I'm just gonna divide it by the number of bowls that I have, and then that's gonna be my cost per bowl, because obviously some of them will have a little more than others, but like, we're not gonna worry about getting that fine-tuned. So it looks like on these, the last bowls I didn't have enough wax. So it looks like on these I do. So now I'm gonna go back through and bring them all up a bit. And that's just really all there is to it. It's kind of just a trial and error with these. You know, your wick placement, there's no set guide. The amount of wax, there's no set guide. Like, it's all just very much just kind of do it and see how it goes and make adjustments as needed. And that's what's kind of neat about these. They're just as unique poured as the fact that they are each hand carved. So they're all going to be a little bit different, And I just think that that makes them so neat. I think that's why people really like them. So let's see, I have just a little bit of wax, so we'll go back through again and top these off. Perfect. So there we have it. I just got all of those poured. So now I will let them just do their thing. And of course I'm using soy, so these will need to cure for a bit. These I did my strawberries and cream scent. And so I really like that one. I think that's a good Valentine's Day scent because, you know, a lot of people do the chocolate covered strawberries and things like that. So I thought, yeah, see, now you can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of looking down, making sure that none of the wicks have gotten so out of place that they need to be moved around, because the last thing we want is like a whole sideways wick. So anyways, this is a good Valentine's scent and everything looks good, guys. So what I'll do is I will come back and show you these once everything is all finished up and they're getting ready to hit the store, maybe once I get them in the store, and I will show you guys from there. So, all right. Okay, well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you guys got some valuable information on the wood bowls. If you haven't done them before, I would definitely recommend trying it. You don't have to buy 20 bowls at a time. You don't have to do that. I think you can buy them by the 10 or maybe even less, and I'm sure you can buy them all over, not just the place I buy them from. But again, I will post that link below if you are interested. They ship out of Texas and I've never had any problems at all, so they are a good company to work with. And then yeah, like I said, try them out, because whether you have a store, an online store, you just do a lot of markets or whatever it is, I think you might be surprised at how much people just love these things. So I'm gonna keep working. I've got some jar candles to pour and things like that, so I will keep moving on. But at any rate, have a great day. Please keep following me. I've got lots more to come, and if you haven't already subscribed, that would be amazing if you would do that. And until next time, you guys have a good one. I'll see ya.